Hello guys, welcome back to the Preppy podcast. Thank you all so much for being here and listening. As always, if you're listening on audio, then be sure to head over to YouTube. I have been recording videos for the past couple months of these recordings too, so it's really fun if you want to watch instead of listen, but you can check out the Preppy podcast, or if you search Patricia May Olson, it'll come up that way as well, and I'd love if you would subscribe over there. But today I have a very fun episode. I actually headed up to New York City a few weeks ago and I recorded live with the Love All team. So she has a couple of brands, the founder of Love All. She has tennis, golf, and then even a dress line. She's launching swim soon. And then I believe ski is soon to come as well. So, you know, I love a serial entrepreneur. I really enjoyed our conversation. Their store there is beautiful in New York. Highly recommend if you're in the area. And the material of their products is so great. I have a few of their tennis and pickleball pieces and I absolutely love them. Think like seersucker gingham, very preppy prints, little accents. And I got to try some of the golf pieces as well when I was there, which are just as fabulous. They're a really like cozy, soft material that really pulls you in, but is so comfortable. And their sweatshirts, their dress line, it all is so good, honestly. So I really enjoyed this conversation. Like I said, she's a serial entrepreneur. It's not even her first round at business. She had another one and sold that. So she's just a wealth of knowledge. And I know you guys are going to love this episode. But before we get into that, a couple housekeeping things. So when you are hearing this, I will be getting ready to go to Camp Preppy, Colorado very shortly. But we still have a few tickets for Camp Preppy, Kennebunkport. If you've been dying to go to New England or Kennebunkport, October is the perfect time and Camp Preppy is the perfect excuse. We are going to be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Camp Preppy with lots of fun things. I will be sharing a lot more details of Kennebunkport after Colorado wraps up, but if you want to get ahead of it, like I said, only a few more tickets are available. They sold really quickly last spring. I added a few more, so feel free to get those at thepreppypodcast.com. And if you're looking for something in between camps, then join us at Club Preppy, you guys. I feel like everyone's not taking advantage of Club Preppy, but I had a lot of requests to create it so that they had something to do between camps. And we do at least one virtual event per month. So wine tastings, we also do like style workshops, cooking classes. It's a great way to meet founders and connect with them, learn a new skill or hobby, ask questions to these creatives and pros. You also get part of an exclusive group chat, which the ladies there are so wonderful, so supportive for each other, and also sharing preppy finds. It's a great group to be a part of, and they get a little special mail piece from me each month. So we've done like tote bags, bookmarks, shirts, twillies, all sorts of things, and I have a lot of big plans for Club Preppy in the next couple of months that I'm working on behind the scenes to really expand that and expand like our community there. I think, you know, everything is all about community, so I'd love if you became a member and joined us in this community. But let's get into this week's episode. Okay, welcome back to the Preppy podcast. Let's start at the beginning. Let everyone know who you are, where you live, and what you do.
Okay, great. Well, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Kate Davis, and I'm the founder of Love All. It's a family of sports brands, including Love All Tennis, Love All Golf, and Love All Swim. And I live right here in Manhattan on the Upper East Side of New York, 2 blocks away from my store, where we are right now.
Yes, we're in her beautiful store. If you can see, it's colorful. You can see some of the styles behind us. I cannot wait to learn more about you and Love All, but let's start at the beginning. Tell me about your childhood. Like, were you someone that was entrepreneurial, like had a lemonade stand growing up? Were you someone that was creative and fashionable, like made clothes for your dolls? Like, what was your childhood like?
Okay, well, yes, I was always very creative. I grew up right here in New York. I went to an all-girls school on the Upper East Side, and I painted all the time. I went to art class after school. I did classes at the Metropolitan. I was lucky enough, my mother was an art teacher growing up, so after school I was always in an art room waiting for her to finish, and just constantly drawing, sketching, and clothes, I drew pictures of clothes more than making them. I had tons of notebooks that I would sketch in outfit after outfit that I think my mom still has, actually. So I always just loved drawing. And I didn't have a lemonade stand. This is a little bit out there, but we spent the summers in Maine.
Okay.
And the beaches are very rocky in Maine, so we would collect little rocks. And then I would paint the rocks with like little like pictures or lobsters, and then I would sell them. So I'd like put them out on a table and sell rocks, which people bought them. They were probably just being nice, but people still have them actually now, like 40 years later. Yes, people do have my rocks.
So I love that we have this entrepreneurial journey as kids, and I see so much of that reflected later in life as adults. But I'm curious then, when it came time for college, where and what did you end up studying? Was it like entrepreneurship, business, fashion? Tell us.
Well, I went to a liberal arts college, so I actually studied art history, which definitely tied into my interests. I love art, which was great because I could then spend my junior year abroad in Florence, which was an amazing experience. I highly encourage anyone who has the opportunity to study abroad in college. So then after college, I did go to business school.
Okay.
So that's really where I focused on entrepreneurship, and I knew I wanted to start a business after that. So I really dug in at business school, but college was really all about liberal arts and reading and writing and learning about art history.
I mean, Florence sounds like a dream. So, and I'm sure you get so much inspiration from travel, right?
So much, so much design and just the architecture and the fashion in Italy. It was really great to be there.
Yeah, so tell me about then after business school. What was your career like, or did you automatically dive into entrepreneurship?
So I worked for 3 years before business school in investment banking, which wasn't my favorite job, but it was a really important job. So it's one of those jobs where you look back on it and you're like, oh, I'm really glad I did that, because I have a really solid foundation now in numbers. Like, I understand finance. I can build any spreadsheet, like, basically in my sleep. So, so that's all I did for 3 years. So that's a really important skill to have when you're starting a business, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs probably, that might be the one piece that's missing, because you have a great idea, but understanding how revenue streams work and income statements. So I did that, and then after business school, I pretty much did just dive right into the business that I had wanted to start.
Okay. I love that, because so first of all, I would say a lot of people that I interview on this podcast, they say the hardest part is like the numbers and the spreadsheets. So the fact that you have that baseline from your previous career to go off of, I'm sure is so helpful. But so tell me about then your first business.
So my first business was a stationery and wedding invitation business called Pickett's Press.
Okay.
I don't want to date myself too much, but this was before paperless post.
Okay.
And a lot of mail was still being sent all the time. Thank you notes were all sent by hand, not by text or email, which is unfortunate now. But back then, when I started this business, everyone wrote a thank you note. So I loved it. It was great. I started it. The letterpress really fed into my love for art and handmade items, and it was just very textural, and the paper was really thick and beautiful, and it was a great business. I ran it for almost 20 years, and I sold it last fall.
Okay.
And we evolved. We moved online. We had a great e-commerce site. So it was a great journey. I loved it, and now I've moved on.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a big believer still in snail mail, like sending thank you notes. I love a paper invite to a party, even like a small dinner party with friends. So what did you like land on stationery? Like, what was that thought process there back then?
I think my creative juices, like drawing and always like using my hands and draw, that kind of led into it, and that I was I was doing, I would make stationery for my friends by hand, like piece by piece, which people still do. I'd draw some flowers on the top or like watercolor them. And then I realized with letterpress, which is such a beautiful technique, it's probably, unfortunately, a dying art. There aren't very many letterpresses left, but you'd make a plate like of that drawing or of that flower, and then run the paper through the press, hand press it, and then you could have like 100 or 200. So it was really just wanting to be able to sell something that I could make by hand, that I could draw. So combining, business with creativity. Like I wanted to be creating something, and I just kept trying to think how I could make a business out of that. So that was one way. And I was getting married, so it was like
that makes sense.
Right in the throes of all of us getting married, all around that age, like 26, 25, 26, and so it was really fun to design wedding invitations. So I had a great wedding business, like word of mouth. I would custom draw these beautiful maps. If somebody was going to be married in Nantucket, I'd do a map of like all their places. And it was unique and very thoughtful and personal. So people loved that about it.
Definitely. Well, and I feel like I visited Florence, and I feel like stationery and paper goods is so popular there. So I wonder if, like, looking back, you're like, oh, maybe it was influenced a little bit by that even.
I think you're right? Actually. Because I did collect a lot of paper when I was in Florence. I found some the other day, actually, a box, like all the marbled paper.
Yes,
that's I hadn't really put that together, but I'm sure that wasn't.
Yeah, that's like the first place my mind went with it when she said Florence and then paper goods. But so then tell me about the creation of Love All. So you sold your old business and then you started Love All. So what was that like moment you're like, I want to get back into entrepreneurship, I want to do something new, and why, I guess initially tennis it started with, right?
Yes, so Love All started with Love All Tennis. That was the first brand, and that actually, I bought that domain name probably in 2020 or 2021. So I'd had the idea. I play a lot of tennis. That's one of my, if I have any free time, that's something I try to do. It's a way to be active and then also see friends. And especially if you work or have kids and you're really busy, it's a nice way to kind of do both. So I would had a lot of doubles games, and I love clothes, I love fashion, and I kept thinking that there was something missing, and I didn't love what was on the market. So I thought, that's a great idea. I'd love to design tennis clothes, but I didn't have the time. And so then when I sold Pickett's Press, I could really dig in and start an apparel brand.
I love it. Well, my listeners know that I love like country club sports, like tennis, golf, pickle, all of that. But I feel like having a paper goods brand and then clothing, they're so different. So how did you know where to start, and sort of what were those first steps from idea I want to start a tennis brand to putting it out there and having product?
Yeah, I mean, the apparel business is definitely different, but honestly, when you get down to starting a business, it's not that different. Like the steps you take are the same. Like you're forming an LLC, you're building a team, you're setting up a business account, you're finding a space. If you need a warehouse, you're finding warehouse space. Like the steps that you take. If you need a trademark, you're filing patents, you're working with a lawyer. Like all those steps that you take to found a business are pretty similar, business to business, when it's a consumer retail goods type of business, not fintech or but what we sell, I'm making a product and putting it out there. So what was different was working with sizes and different colorways and SKUs. I wasn't used to a product having 15 different colors, which is 150 SKUs for one item, and keeping track of all of that, figuring out how many sizes per item, and you're sort of guessing what's going to sell. Are people going to like the blue or the pink? So that's different. And holding inventory, that piece of it has been very different. But just the groundwork of starting the business is is similar.
That makes sense. I mean, entrepreneurship really at the end of the day is like problem solving, right? Every single day there's a different problem and you're solving it and figuring out how, no matter what the product is or what the business is. So I can see how there's a lot of similarities no matter what the product is. So what did you initially launch with then?
So we launched with 4 styles.
Okay.
The Kate, the Rena, the Tracy, and the Ainsley dress.
Okay.
I think were our first. And I was really inspired by vintage tennis players. So that was the brand ethos when it started. It was, and still to this day, really vintage inspired, traditional. You asked me about my childhood, but I was here in New York during the school year, and then in the summers we went both to East Hampton on Long Island and to a small town in Maine.
Okay.
Where I played tennis, and it was all very traditional whites, like very throwback 70s. So I loved that. So we started with pieces that kind of evoked that old-fashioned kind of country club all white look.
Very classic, very preppy, which you know I love.
Very classic and preppy, yes. Unfortunately, I try sometimes to be edgy, but I am just a preppy person. I think.
Like why force it, right? Okay, so I read somewhere that your daughter inspired the line and the brand, and specifically like her style with sports and including people and just being so welcoming. So I'd love for you to share that story.
Yes, Whitney, she's 18 now. She just graduated college, and she did inspire a lot of the line. She's in all of our photo shoots with all of her friends. She's just, ever since she was a little girl, she's so warm and inclusive of everybody. She never wanted to be in the popular clique, or she would always go to try to sit with the person that maybe wasn't included. And so a big part of our brand is love all, including everyone. So it's a very inclusive brand. We have pieces that fit all body types. We want it to look good on everyone. We have price points like all across the range, so that we really want to be accessible. And Whitney's approach to sports and friendships really is inspiring.
That's
in that
so
way.
Special. She sounds like amazing.
Yeah, she's great. She's heading off to college in the fall. We're sad but happy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like, different emotions there. So tell me about the importance of building a team. We're in your store, obviously, and you have an amazing team here. And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs have a hard time justifying, because it's a big expense, right? And it's your time training people, all of that, but it's so important in growth. So do you mind chatting a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I'm glad you asked about that, because a team and the people you work with is the most important thing in any business. Honestly, I feel like sometimes if we could be selling, I don't even know, like just tennis balls, and if we had a good team, we'd make it work. It's really the piece of the business you have to spend the most time on, and it's the most challenging too. You want to find really good people and make sure that they love what they do and that they're really happy at it. You need to pay people well, make sure there's good incentives, and that everyone's motivated to make a difference. And it's hard. Like, we had so many, we had a lot of misses along the way. We had a stretch when we first started where I think we had like 3 COOs in a row who we fired like after 3 weeks each. And it was just
you got to find that right fit, right?
It's a tough position to fill, but it's really important, and it's important to have a good mix between like working hard and playing hard. Like, we try to mix in like happy hours or like breakfast, or like we break things up, or just have like randomly like an early day like we'll close early so people can do something fun, and then sometimes we have to like come in early and be at the warehouse all day. So it's just, if you find good people, just
hold on to them, right? Yeah, and create good culture so that they want to stay, right?
Yeah.
Supporting that.
It's nice when everyone gets along. So yes, I agree with you.
It's funny you said, well, if we're selling tennis balls even, like it's about the right team. I feel like if you had tennis balls, they'd be gingham and seersucker, right?
Like super cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like, I want to buy a tennis ball from like a tennis ball company, I think, more than a fashion company.
I don't know.
Okay.
Never say never.
You could try.
But with that then, I'm curious, I'm wearing this great set that has gingham. You have some gingham there as well. You have seersucker in some pieces behind us and rickrack. What is your personal favorite style right now? And then what would you say is like the best seller?
Oh my gosh. Pressure. Well, for tennis, my favorite is probably the Kate set. Okay. Because that was my first design. So I'm, it's like your baby. Yeah. So, and we've re-released that in many different colorways. We've re-released it with stripe waistband and in resort colors. It's really flattering. I love it. My favorite piece that we just in our entire Love All brand is our new, like we have this lifestyle collection. It's actually behind you. So these courtside dresses, which I seriously wear these almost every day. My husband is like, oh, you're wearing that dress again. But it fits well. They're great. I love it. Our best seller for tennis is probably the Gabriella dress.
Okay.
It's really flattering. It's a little bit sexy. It's named after Gabriella Sabatini. It has a deep zipper.
That's the one I tried on, right? I love that one, I think. Yeah.
It's great. It's one of our styles. We call them the tensies. Okay. It's like a onesie tennis dress. Oh. So it's funny. Some people, you either love it or you really don't like it. Okay. But it's everything built in. So like bra, shorts, like one stop. Yeah. And it's very flattering too, because then it kind of like holds you in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like all of your styles are super flattering. Like this is so flattering. Even looking at this, I feel like looks like it'd be so flattering on the female figure. So let's talk about then next, sort of the addition of golf, the new clothing line, and then kids. Like what was your decision process behind each of those, and which came first, I guess?
So tennis was first, and then for the expansion lines, golf was next because people asked. Like that's really, like I didn't set out thinking like, oh, we'll do golf and tennis, and but it just was a natural extension of the brand. So a lot of people would come in for tennis and say, we love this, but golf clothes are so ugly. Can you help us out? So in terms of the different markets, it seems like tennis has far more options for women, so it's definitely a more competitive market when you're in the sort of fashion aspects of it, and not just like technical performance, but if you're looking for something cute and fun, there's a lot of options. Golf seems like far more difficult for women who want something cute, like what I'm wearing. Like you could wear this out to lunch like so easily. Like it's very feminine and charming and just preppy, easy to wear. So we did that just because people wanted it, and it's been great.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We were walking around the store earlier, and I saw you even have golf pants, which I do not wear golf pants because I find them very unflattering. So I was so excited to see those. I'm like, I'm going to have to try these on because they look super cute. Yeah. So I definitely see what you're saying there. But then what about the addition of kids and then clothing?
So kids, again, because people asked for kids, and it's sort of a natural extension. Like we have all the designs for the like mom clothes, so it was pretty easy relative to cut them in kids, and that has been a huge hit. So a lot of clubs we work with either carry both kids and adults, or some just carry the kids because it's so popular. And then the lifestyle we just launched because I wanted some pieces to wear when I like wasn't wearing my golf stuff or my tennis clothing, and I wanted to change into something on vacation that was easy and flattering.
Yeah.
And, so I just wanted to do that.
It made sense, right?
Yeah.
No, I love all the pieces, and they all fit seamlessly, I feel like, into the puzzle. So since we're in the New York City store, tell me about this edition. Like, why did you decide to open brick and mortar? Why Upper East Side? Even the decor and like the paint, it's so pretty and cheerful. Like when you walk by, especially on a gray, like rainy New York City day, you just want to come inside.
It's a very happy store. I agree. We get that a lot. I just feel like you can't really be successful at a business unless you know what the customer thinks. And there's really no better way than have people come in and try things on, or say, oh, do you have this? Or like, I'm desperate for a lavender golf top. I find that like what one person wants, often a lot of other people want.
Yeah.
And then it's fun to have a destination. It's fun for our marketing. We can do photo shoots in here. We had a really cute mom and daughter come. Were they from Texas, Amanda? They came. Remember, they were trying on all this stuff, and they like followed us on Instagram, and it was really cute. They were like so excited to actually. They were like, you were on our list of like 10 things we had to do in New York.
Aww. It's like a destination.
Yeah. So that's why.
That makes total sense. So I'd love to hear then, what is the best compliment you've ever received, or a pinch me moment in terms of the brand?
Oh my gosh. Well, actually, okay, on Friday, I was driving out to Long Island after we had a long day here, and one of my friends sent me a picture of this like woman walking down the street with a Love All shopping bag, and she was like, oh my gosh, I saw someone walking with your bag, so she like tapped them on the shoulder. Thanks, Susan. And she said, can I take a picture of your bag? And I guess the ladies were like, oh my gosh, this is like the best store ever. You have to go here. And they were like talking about how like amazing it was.
Aww.
And like they didn't know she was my friend.
Yeah.
But they were like, you have to go. And so it's fun when people like talk well about something you created when you're like not in the room.
Yes.
So,
and they're not your friends or family. They're just strangers,
yeah,
right?
When strangers are, that's the best. Our first like 10 trunk shows, it was all like my mom and her friends.
I feel like that's how every business starts. It's like that.
And then when like every morning, I still get so excited. Like I'd look at my Love All email, and like someone from Kansas has ordered something, someone like from Ohio or like Michigan, someone who has no idea like who I am or we are. They just like the brand. So
I love
that's I guess that's like the best pinch me moment is seeing people seeing that the brand resonates with people who have no personal connection at all. They just like the message and the branding.
Totally, seeing it in the wild.
Yeah, exactly.
So since this is the Preppy podcast, I always ask everyone, what does Preppy mean to you? So how would you describe Preppy?
Oh, well, I feel like I'm pretty preppy. So I guess, if you think of like Slim Aaron's photographs, or in our headquarters in Midtown, we have on the walls, we have a bunch of blown up Slim Aaron's photos of like women in the Bahamas with, really retro golf clothes on, kind of tailored and not sloppy, like fitted and colorful, no graphic writing, just kind of
classic, timeless. Yeah, definitely. So speaking of Slim Aaron's, I know his photography is so inspired by travel, and I know you're a big traveler yourself. So what is your favorite court to play on first?
My favorite court to play on, well, I guess that's like a two-pronged question, because there's like a court that I get to play on a lot, so that's probably my favorite. That's at my friend's home in East Hampton, and it's right on the water on Georgia Pond, and it's such a treat to play there because you're surrounded by flowers and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that, but then like my favorite court I've like played on would probably be in Italy. So if anyone's traveling and you want like a really cool experience, it's in Portofino in a hotel there, and but I think you can just book the court, and it's like way up in the mountains, and it's really incredible to play there at the Splendido Hotel in Portofino. So so destination court, like an everyday court,
a home family court.
A home family court.
I love that. I mean, that court sounds like it's out of Slamerin's portrait itself. So.
Yes, it's beautiful. And actually, when we were just starting out, this friend of mine was so generous. She lent us her court for our very first photo shoot. You know, because when you get started, you can't spend like gazillion dollars like hiring models and hiring courts in beautiful places. So you see it on our Instagram a lot, actually. Our court.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a fun story. Okay, what about course for golf?
So we go to the Bahamas a lot for holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas time with the kids, and so there's a course there in Lightford, which is really beautiful and fun to play on, and it has great memories too because my kids grew up playing there, so we played together, and that's probably my favorite course.
Yeah, I feel like one time I called you when you were heading to the Bahamas. Probably
I think so. I think like when we first connected.
Totally. Okay, and then finally, like mountain or resort.
Well, Acadia National Park is where I grew up going in Maine. My family's house was like 3 minutes from the park, so we hike all the time, like daily, if not every other day.
Yeah.
And those mountains, you can't beat them. They're just gorgeous. If anyone hasn't been to Acadia National Park, it's the most beautiful national park. I highly recommend it.
Okay, put that on your list, everyone. What about a resource for business or like a piece of advice you got? It could be a newsletter, a podcast, a website, like anything that you could share that people could check out.
Okay. Well, so for podcasts, my husband and I in the car, we often listen to entrepreneurship or like business podcasts. So we really like How I Built This, the Guy Raz podcast. There was one on Strava that was really cool, and one on Supergoop. That's a really good one. It's really interesting to hear people's stories, how these brands get built.
Yeah.
And then just personally, I feel really fortunate. I'm part of a sort of like a founders like WhatsApp group chat, and it's such a great resource. It was started by one of my HBS classmates, and people are so helpful on it. So you can just write a question like, "Hey guys, has anyone used a really good marketing person, or does anyone know anyone looking for a job?" And I've gotten just really so many great resources through that. So I would say to translate that to everyone, just like lean on whatever community you have, whether it's from school or your friends or
a local business community, any of those.
Yeah.
Okay, what about a dream collab or dream client, like customer that you could dress in your pieces? Could be anyone, like celebrity, dead or alive, a royal, or a brand that you want to collab with.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All these hard questions.
We're almost done.
Well, so one of our favorite inspiration tennis players, because many of our pieces are inspired by specific tennis players. So like the Margaret dress is inspired by Margaret Court, and the Gabriella dress, like I mentioned. So actually you're wearing the Tracy set. So Tracy Austin is probably my number one favorite inspiration for her tennis outfits. I love everything she wore, and that would be amazing if Tracy ever wanted to wear our Tracy set. That would really be a great day.
I love that answer, and I love that story behind all the pieces, that they're named after someone, a tennis icon, and so I think that's special. Yeah. And then what you're wearing is a sneak peek, right, of something coming out?
This isn't out yet.
Okay.
This is part of our golf resort collection, which is coming out.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's super cute. Checked, signature rickrack, contrast stitching, scallop, all of our timeless classic trimmings.
I love it. It looks so cute. I can't wait for that set. So any other sneak peeks you want to share? Something for people to look forward to? Like when's Resort launching then, would you say? Or
Yeah, so we should have this by end of August.
Okay.
And then I guess a sneak peek, we're really excited about our swim line.
Oh.
So that's also scallops, gingham, checks, some zippers, some tie, really, really great style, and that'll probably be out in September.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, just in time for Thanksgiving or Christmas break.
Yeah, some trips. I love that. Okay, finally, where can people find you and Love All? Like Instagram handles, website, store location, anything like that, so they can shop, follow, and support you.
Oh, yes, great. So our Instagram is @LoveAllUSA, and our store here, please come visit us. We're on 74th and Lexington, and we love welcoming people in store. And our website is just loveall.com, so you can find golf, tennis, swim, everything on there.
Excellent. Well, I so enjoyed this conversation. I loved Love All, enjoyed speaking with you, learning more about you and your brand. So thank you so much for having me at your store.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for listening to the Preppy Podcast. I hope this put a little prep in your step for the day. Please subscribe, rate, and review on wherever you listen to your podcast, and follow along with @the Preppy Podcast on social media.